we'll let you know whether Chelsea go through, and that's what tonight is all about. Because, hold on, just been a goal for Sevilla. Sevilla has scored, so that's it now. Chelsea are through. There's no way Krasnodar are scoring 2 in less than a minute to win that one. So, congratulations, Chelsea. They're through. And that's what tonight was about, because there's so many games coming thick and fast. They're against Sevilla in the next Champions League match. It's job done, and that's the key thing.
Yeah, let's be honest, it wasn't vintage from Chelsea this evening, but they've got the job done. Frank will be pleased. They're through to the knockout phases, and they've been fantastic in recent games. It wasn't quite a vintage night tonight, but all that matters is they're through.
It didn't flow, Jake, today. You know, it wasn't crash, it wasn't vintage, but what do we say about great teams? They win when they're not at their best, and Chelsea did it. So they got over the line, you know, using the squad. You know, Callum Hudson-Odoi coming in, getting his goal, Giroud coming in. It showed great quality and great depth that they went and done it. Because we said before the game, that's a tough away game, that. And there was spells in that game, Rennes, where they was in charge. Good team, great result, and to go through consistently like Chelsea are in the Champions League, you know, making it look easy. It's not. They're fantastic from Frank and the boys.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to some reaction from them as soon as Frank you want to, which keeps you across all the goals as they go in. But there you go. It is confirmed. Chelsea, 4 games played, 10 points on the board. Sevilla, with moments left in that game, 2-up against Krasnodar. So it is job done this evening for Chelsea. Congratulations to Frank and his players making it through to the knockout stages. And talking of knockout, this is on its way.
It's fight week on B.
Yeah, hopefully keep getting goals, getting assists for the team, working hard for the team. And yeah, I'm happy that we got the 3 points today and we won the game.
Talk to me about the guy that set up the goal for you, Mason Mount, the way he won it back and then you immediately peeled in behind. Did you sense that he was going to win it back, and is that something that comes from playing together in the academy? Or?
Yeah, I know Mason, he works really hard, he presses really well in the middle, so as soon as he got the ball I knew to myself, take off, because I knew that I was in front of the fullback and I knew that he would find me straight away. So his vision is amazing and he saw me straight away, which I was happy about. So yeah, I got in there and obviously I got the goal, which was happy as well.
Big London derby coming up against Spurs at the weekend. What do you expect from that game?
Yeah, we go in there trying to win the game as well. I think that we're all confident right now. We're playing really well at the moment, so we'll go there confident, hopefully get the 3 points there as well. But we just got to make sure that we go back tomorrow, recover well, get back everybody ready for the game on Sunday, and hopefully get the win there.
Thanks, Callum.
Thank you.
Yeah, the game's coming thick and fast, and back into European competition next week as well. We'll take a look at his opening goal in just a few moments, but we need to start really with the most important moment of the night. We thought it was gone at this point, didn't we? Because we knew what the score was in the other game, and we thought it was not going to be tonight, the night for Chelsea.
Yeah, we did, and Rennes, it was a real open moment. And Werner, again, I mean, it's a great header, you know, he's got up, but in this position here, from Werner, you'd like him to be a little bit more clinical. I think that's where the improvement will come with his game. But this header here, it's better for Crouchy. This is to talk about, but that is amazing.
No, I have to say, we know how good Giroud is in the air, but you know what, his eyes have lit up there. The determination, the presence and the power he gets into that header, look at the leap. It was a fantastic finish. I mean, he's made that look easy, and that was far from easy. It was a great finish.
We know that his numbers are constantly good. Second top scorer for France. He's already got 30 goals for Chelsea in less than 100 games. So much talk this week about whether he leaves in January, frustrated with his limited game time. Can they afford to let a leader like that go?
No, I mean, what an option to have off the bench. I mean, we heard in commentary there, he was a top goal scorer in the Europa League. I think off the bench, fantastic to have. I think there's been a serious lack of respect for Olivier Giroud in the past sort of years he's been in the Premier League, I think, and for France as well. I think he's often overlooked. He's one of the greatest players that France have had, you know, goal-scoring wise. He's up there, was he second? He's 7 behind Thierry Henry, ahead of Platini. I think it's time we sort of stood up and lauded, really, what a fantastic servant he's been, certainly in the Premier League and for France as well.
Do you know what? It's a big test for Frank now, because Olivier Giroud, it's special for him to play for France. Clearly, he's a World Cup winner, and he'll know he needs to play. His manager's told him that in January. Frank knows what a great lad he is, and he knows what a great servant he's been to the club and how much he produces when called upon. And it's going to be one of them situations come January where you're like, do you let him go for the lad's sake, or do you do what's right for the club? Yeah. You know, it's a real tough decision Frank's going to have to make, because Giroud's such a good professional, but more importantly, such a good, effective player for the club. You know, I'd love to see him stay, because that won't be the last time he bails Chelsea out. He's brilliant off the bench, and like, I agree with Crouchy. I think he's one of the most underrated players we've seen over the last 5 years in the Premier League.
I think Frank will want to keep him. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
that. But it's obvious he's going to want to play to be involved with the Euros. I mean, he's France's number 9, isn't he? And he'll want to stay that way. And if he's not getting enough games at Chelsea, he might have to move on. But there's no doubt Frank will want to keep him.
But you've been in a similar position where let's take Burnley as a good example. You wanted more game time. You weren't getting more game time. What can a manager do, apart from playing you, to keep you happy? Or for someone like Olivier with the Euros on the horizon, is it simply, I have to play or I have to go?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think he'll look at Chelsea and he'll think if you're playing in big games, you'd think they'll be challenging for, if not top 4, perhaps the title eventually. You know, if he moves on, where's he going to go? I think he will get game time. I think he'll get enough to warrant his place in the France squad. And for what he's done for France, even if he doesn't play week in, week out, I still think he's got a position in that team.
OK, well, look, they are through, but they almost weren't. So should we have a look at the equaliser?
Yeah.
And you can talk us through it, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, first thing you have to say is that Chelsea have improved so much in this area, and they nearly got it right. But it shows you the details at this level, because what you've got here, you've got 4 Chelsea players here tasked with blocking. So they're picking up there. You've got Thiago Silva in this position. His job is to attack anything in that position. And Oliver Giroud, anything at the far post. So you're set. What Girassi does, very clever, he comes and stands in between the two headers of the ball there. So Zuma's in a position now where he may have been asked, we don't know whether he's been asked to block him or not, but the one thing he gets wrong, he just stands on the wrong side of it. You want to pick Zuma up and put him on Girassi's left shoulder, and it's not a goal. It's a fantastic ball as well, by the way, because it drops in that little space between Giroud and Silva. We'll just run it through here. But if you watch him, as the ball comes in, he just gets what I believe is the wrong side of him, and he just gets the timing. It's a fantastic header. Yeah. And Chelsea have done... Frank would have been furious for that because of how well they defended over the last 7 games have been fantastic. But that's the details of this Champions League. It's that things like that the difference between winning a game and drawing a game.
OK. Come back and...
OK, mate.
Take a seat. Look at that. What a pro. Over to the touchscreen, back again. Right, I tell you what, I'm very pleased to say that actually Frank Lampard has just emerged pitchside and he's going to speak to us live right now. Well, Frank, first of all, congratulations. That is the earliest that Chelsea have qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions League in the last 10 years.
No, thanks. Very happy to qualify, like you say, with 2 games to spare, albeit we want to try and top the group, but it was a really tough match for us tonight to come here. Rennes are a very good team, possibly an underrated team. When you look at recent form, I think they're better than that. We found that out tonight, but we also played well for big spells of the game ourselves, so tough, hard-fought win for us.
Let's talk about Olivier Giroud, Frank, because when he scored that goal, you needed the win. In the end, with Sevilla getting a late win or a draw would have been enough. How important is he to you, and what do you do to keep him at the football club with the Euros on the horizon and a striker wanting football?
Well, he does things like he did tonight because that was great from him. Not only that, but I think his hold-up play when he came on, the physicality of him when he came on. I have a problem because I have Tammy who's playing well, and obviously we know what he did last year. Ollie, who always contributes in that way with that professionalism, and in restart was incredible. So I have 2 players in a similar position that are fighting for a place. That's a good problem. So Ollie will get his minutes because we have a busy schedule. We play every few days. You see the few changes I made today because I felt I had to for freshness in the team. So, you know, I think the reason you see such a reaction around the goal, not only is it a last-minute winner, but with someone like Ollie who acts like he does every day, day in, day out, shows you what he means to this team.
Frank, Joe, well done tonight. Brilliant, mate. When do you start thinking about the big one on Sunday?
Cheers, Coley. Yeah, I think thinking about it since about 3 days ago, and I know you have to prioritise about the game that's in front of you always, but we're very aware of where we are in the league. We're aware that it's a big game coming on Sunday. Chelsea against Tottenham will always be a big game because of the rivalry there is, but they're a very, very good team. So the important thing now is you just prepare right. We have a day off tomorrow for the lads, really well deserved for them because they've had really busy schedules with us and with internationals. And then come Thursday morning, we'll start thinking properly about Tottenham on the training pitch.
Frank Crouchy, well done again, mate. Just want to say, how pleased you've been with Mason Mount's recent form?
Hi, Crouchy. Yeah, cheers. I mean, really pleased, really pleased. I think with Mason there's been a lot of talk, and I think it just has to go away, any sort of negative talk, because what he's done, and I've been lucky enough to be a big part of that, is be there when he was at Derby and was one of the best midfield players in the Championship in his breakthrough year in England. And then what he did last year in his performance has been outstanding. And I think everyone can see what he means to me and what he gives on the pitch. The way he works off the ball, the quality he has, and I'm not going to undermine that as well, because the quality he has. And when we're playing with two number 8s, he has the attributes that can do all parts of that game in midfield, where he can arrive high up. I think he can probably score more goals and make assists. But at the same time, the assist you saw tonight and the quality of that pass for Callum's finish is top class. So I'm very happy with Mason, and I've got good options in midfield again. You see Kai Havertz coming on there as well, look really calm and collected, having been off in isolation. So we need to keep that competition in that area.
And you made a slight mention there of the criticism that Mason's had from various areas. In some ways, it reminds me of when you were coming through and you were getting unfairly criticised. How much do you speak to him about off-the-field stuff, as well as just coaching him as a footballer, sharing your experience?
Yeah, I actually don't speak too much, Jade, because I think me and Mason have a good relationship. Not as close as some people think, but we have a good relationship, and I feel like he knows that I'm there if he does want any sort of guidance on that. And I think it's probably a little bit of the modern world and the social media world where, for me, Mason, the way he plays, how good he is, how classy he is, how efficient he is, how hard he works for the team. I suppose in the modern day we all have opinions and we all want to see different things in different players that we appreciate. What matters for Mason, I think, is... what should matter is what I think, what his teammates think of him, and what proper Chelsea fans, and hopefully they'll be coming back to Stamford Bridge, will see that when you see the effort he puts in on match day, and for me every day in training. So it's not even a question. I think the conversation needs to move on. Just talk about how good Mason is and let him get on with it.
Absolutely. And talking about good performances, Callum Hudson-Odoi with a goal tonight. He's now matched his goal tally from the whole of last season. Are you seeing constant improvements from him now?
Yeah, I am, Jake, and recently, because... you know, bringing him into the team today, I knew he'd had a couple of good performances of the 21s last week. I know he wants more minutes, so do other players in the team. Christian Pulisic is back fit at the weekend. I have competition in that area, so it's not as cut and dried as if Callum isn't getting minutes in a period, it means he's out of favour with me. He certainly isn't, but he is still a developing player to a degree. The bit of quality he shows with the first two touches before he gets a shot away is top class. I know he can do that. And he came off the back of a really bad injury not that long ago as a young player. So there are loads of great things about Callum, and there are things he can improve in his game, and he knows that. And you know, he's a big player for Chelsea. He has a big future with us. I'm delighted for him the way his all-round game today on and off the ball was fantastic, and he gets his goal.
Brilliant. Look, Frank, congratulations. 13 unbeaten, 6 wins on the bounce. You can raise a small glass of French red on the flight home tonight and then already start thinking about the weekend.
Thank you very much. Nice speaking to you all, lads. Thank you.
Good man. Thanks for joining us. Thanks. Really good example there of the kinds of constant challenges that you face as a manager like Frank. While he's trying to deal with a seasoned pro like Olivier Giroud and working out what his immediate future looks like, he's having to deflect criticism from social media for one of his midfielders while encouraging another midfielder who's had a bit of time out and he's trying to bring back. It's so much more than just picking 11 players and having a game of football, isn't it?
It's so much more. And when you said the criticism of Mason Mount, who are these people criticising Mason Mount? Because he has been, like, sublime for me from the start of the season. But all the little nuances you've got to do. He's got Olivier Giroud, the situation there, you know, where he's got to, you know, figure out trying to make him happy. And as far as I'm concerned, the only way you can make a player happy is by putting him on the pitch. But you've got 23 players. You can only put 11 on the pitch and 3 subs. So... he's got the problems that a top manager's got, but he's answered, Frank. He's answered every hurdle he's had in his playing career and his managerial career up to now. He's surpassed, and he's got a team now which I think are capable of challenging. And I think Frank might not thank me for saying it, but I think he believes it as well. I think he's looking at that team now, and he's looking how it's shaping up. The players off the bench, the players coming back from injury, and he's like, he's happy with his squad at the moment. But it's such a long season, and Tottenham on the weekend is a 50-50 game because they're in great form as well. So, you know, I just think what he's done at the club so far has been brilliant.
But he are going to have headaches because what he's done is built a very, very good squad. That's what they've got now. Yeah. You know, they've got young, hungry players coming through with the Mount, Abrahams, Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, good young players who have come through the system. Add to that the quality that they've brought in there off the back of a transfer ban. They've bought very, very well. And they've built a nucleus of a squad here that is very good. And, of course, the tough part of this for Frank now, and it's a good headache to have, is that he's got to keep all those players happy. At the moment, they're winning games. The players are happy because you can't argue about the players who are playing week in, week out because they're performing. The minute they dip in form is the moment that you have an unhappy camp. But at the moment, everyone's happy and things are looking good for Chelsea.
Do you know what a dream for Frank would be right now is to ring up the French manager and just say to him, listen, because for me, whether Giroud leaves Chelsea in January or not, he's going away to the Euros with France because of what he does for France. But the dream would be to ring up the French manager and say, listen, just give Olivier the nod that he's a big part of your plans and he will play games and he will go to the tournament. And so that sort of calms down Olivier Giroud, and he knows he's going to the tournament and he's ready to take his chance. He could quite easily start the game on Sunday. You know, he's coming on, he scored the winner, he's in with a shout, you don't know. But that would be the ideal thing from Chelsea's perspective. They can just keep everyone. That would help.
But even if he's on the bench, I think to Chelsea he's worth 6-7 points for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't start another game, he'll come off the bench and he'll influence games. He'll win penalties, he'll win free kicks, he'll score goals, he'll create goals. So I think having someone like Olivier Giroud is worth his weight in gold.
What about the first time when he come on, Crouchy, and he done the experience thing a striker done? He just backed into the centre half, got the foul,
Drew the foul. Yeah.
Drew the foul. No, these little things that you know, Tammy needs to learn and he will learn. But Giroud's just the experienced, wily old cat, and he just does it naturally. And he's just a foul. I'll sing his praises enough. I think he's a brilliant player.
I think it tells you a lot, not just about them as footballers, but about them as people. When you go and spend big money, you bring in some big names, and then the players that were already there react. Callum Hudson-Odoi's reacted. Tammy Abraham's reacted positively.
Well, that's the thing. You see the characters. They've brought these big players in, and they're fantastic players in their own right, but they can learn off them in training. And not just that, they're going to push them to the next level. I mean, Tammy Abraham, who better to learn off than Olivier Giroud? You know, Hudson-Odoi on one side, he's got Ziyech and Werner as well to learn off as well. So hopefully it's a positive step for Chelsea, and these young players really rise to the challenge like they are doing at the moment.
And by the way, you talk about the young Chelsea players learning from these seasoned players coming in. On the flip side of it as well, these young players have been seasoned in the Chelsea way, the mentality. So they're helping these other players coming in. This is what the expectations are, this is what we do. So it's just a great blend at the moment.
And while we're talking about players coming in, of course, the goalkeeper's come in and made a really big difference. It was such a shame for him this evening that he couldn't have a moment with the fans, but actually we spotted a nice shot at the end of him chatting away with the Rennes manager. Look, clearly still very fondly thought of in Rennes, and what a story it was for him. He was without a club and training on his own not too long ago. Now there he is, playing for Chelsea, and he, along with his Chelsea teammates, are into the knockout stages of the Champions League, the earliest they've done it for a decade. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me at the top of the tower. Nice spot, isn't it?
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
Shame we can't now go for a drink in the West End, but that's life at the moment, isn't it? Thank you very much for your company. Make sure you stay where you are. Dinamo Kiev, Barcelona, up next here on BT Sport 3. See you soon. Bye-bye.